a lot of people are, interested and curious to know about how he is as a person, or what other things that could be discovered using astrology. I did have a synastry analysis between him and Cassie at the beginning of this year, but I deleted it because I realized that it was actually too analytical. I was focusing too much on the astrology and why, the abuse was happening. And as a result, that video did not focus much on, sympathizing with the situation. So today we're doing things differently, and let's get into the details. Because there's no registered birth time for P. Diddy, I had to calculate or rectify his birth time, and therefore I do have his ascendant. And I also did charts of all his not all his victims, God, who have been outspoken. And I also to make this study I used different charts from his surrounding or his storyline. So today we are going to look at the synastry aspects that make victims come out and expose their perpetrators and expose the bad guys. I want to see those synastry aspects. I want to see which planets are making these victims have courage, or to come out and say justice must be done. This person has been doing this and this, and so we're looking at those synastry aspects that are similar or running throughout the charts. So I'm looking at obviously a concurrent aspect that I see in almost all the charts, like 99% or 98% of the charts. So let's get into the details. But overall, I have so many charts that I looked at, and the first thing that I saw is that Mercury is conjunct with his ascendant in most of the charts. Like most of these victims and people who suffered because of him, or due to his influence, they have their Mercury conjunct his ascendant. So of course, when Mercury is conjunct somebody's ascendant, it means that they will expose you, they will talk about you, because Mercury is communication, ascendant is appearance, right? And I also have Mercury conjunct Lilith. So of course, Lilith is suppressed desires, the things that we do in the background that we don't want the public to know. So of course, now when it's conjunct with Mercury, then the person is going to expose all of those things that you're trying to hide. And because Mercury, again, as I said, is communication, media, whereas Lilith is those dark taboo things that you're trying to hide or you're trying to suppress, and now they get to be exposed, right? I do also have Mercury opposite the person's Mercury. I have most of their Mercuries opposite P. Diddy's Mercury. So of course, communication, going against communication, where people are challenging each other in communication. And I also have Mercury opposite Mars, because obviously, again, Mars is that challenge, with somebody who wants to challenge you, whether they want to defend themselves or they want to fight you. And you, on the other hand, you also sending out some messages towards that person. So this is very common in almost all of these charts, right? I also have Mercury in conjunct Mars. So that would be the 8th aspect of Mars when it comes to the Vedic love lovers. So the 8th aspect to Mercury, or Mercury in conjunct Mars for the Westerners. So this is also a very, very common aspect that I found in most of these charts with his chart, right? Another one which should be common, based just on the elements of what it is Sun conjunct ascendant. So when their Sun is conjunct with his ascendant, I found that these people have been outspoken about what he's doing and everything that he does, because Sun is light. Sun brings light wherever it is. It shines that house, or the ascendant, in this case his ascendant, and tells about everything that he's doing, right? I have some of their Saturns conjunct with his ascendant. And of course, it makes sense because Saturn is all about justice and being fair, as well as, being responsible and accountable, right? So I have his Mars aspecting their ascendants, okay, either by conjunction, opposition, in conjunction, which is like, the eighth aspect, or the fourth aspect from the Vedic point of view, right? So I have his Mars directly affecting. Another one, which should have been actually maybe number 2 in this list, is Neptune, aspecting Sun, or Sun aspecting Neptune. Anytime when Neptune is making an aspect to Sun, or Sun is making an aspect to Neptune, the whole relationship, or maybe, how you relate to the person, will start as, some sort of like a good ray, of the sun coming out, in the morning, beautiful, looking beautiful. But as the time goes, the fog or the mist will be bent out, and the truth will come, and the truth will be revealed, right? So of course we're seeing that. And of course, the last one is their Saturns making aspects to his Saturn, and of course they work together. Of course Saturn is profession, career, but at the same time you are seeing that they are, because Saturn is moving slowly now, demanding justice, accountability, responsibility from his Saturn. So these are the common aspects that I'm seeing between his chart and the charts of many of these victims and people who've come out and said, yep, we have seen this from him, we observed it. So before we finish, so let's get into some small Anyana predictions here, because I do see that obviously this year things have been, going a bit hot, for him when it comes to his life, right? Looking at the progressions here, I do see that since the age of 49, his Saturn progressed, and it got conjunct with a Rahu, and which is opposite his Ketu and Moon, because his Moon is conjunct with his Ketu, meaning that he never received enough love from his mother, and there was something, some distance, emotional distance that he's experienced from his family. I do also see from his chart that he experienced, some sort of, I would say, abuse, in his family, and, particularly from male figures. I see that. Fatherly figures, or father, allegedly, of course, everything is alleged. Anyway, I also see that, so basically since age 49, things have not been going well for him. Yes, for us, the public, we have not been, seeing, his struggles, because we didn't know. But from the charts, I see that things started to be a bit tough from the age of 49, because when Saturn is making an aspect to Moon, then that is a very, very difficult aspect, because Saturn does not go along well with the Moon, right? And Moon is what? Moon is mind, Moon is emotions, which he's already been detached since birth, due to his Moon being with Ketu. But now adding Saturn here, things just went out, and being limited, resources being restricted for him. That's also very visible here, due to the progressed Saturn since the age of 49. Now, I do though see that in 2025, also in 2029, is some sort of sickness, illness, that comes up, and maybe the illness is chronic, maybe some sort of like pneumonic sickness, or some sort of like eating something that you're not supposed to eat, poisons or poisonous liquids and stuff like that, where your body is not supposed to be taking intaking some sort of these things, right? So that if this does not occur for him, it would be for, his mother, because of course this is facing the moon as well, right? Of course. But looking closer now to the current year, right, is in like 2024, because we are in 2024, right? I do see some sort of pain, of course, because his Chiron is being affected right now, and the Chiron is also impacting his fortune, because it's in opposition to his fortune, right? I see his Venus conjunct with Chiron. Venus is money, Venus is wealth, Venus is conveniences. Therefore, the progressing Venus is now conjunct with Chiron, affecting or wounding, affecting his finances, affecting his love life, affecting his conveniences, his soft life basically, and he's feeling the pain because Chiron is the wounding as well, and it's literally opposite the fortune also. I mean, money, all of that wealth, again being impacted. I also see that his progressing Venus is opposite his own natal Venus, again indicating problems relating to everything women, because Venus represents women. Everything love, everything finance, everything comfort, conveniences, right? So this is what's happening this current year, right? Now going to the next year, things, become a bit, I would say, because, progressing Venus is getting conjunct with Saturn, and Saturn feels comfortable with Venus, okay? So there could be some sort of comfort, in the darkness that he would be finding himself in. Like, obviously, he's going through all these legal battles right now. And with the progressing Venus coming to conjunct with his Saturn next year, it means that there will be some woman or a female figure that would try to make things better for him, try maybe to, I don't know, defend him, or I wouldn't know, but something like a woman would be coming to try to make things better for him or easier for him. However, it would not be easily accepted by the society, the public, and with seeing this, and so it would be difficult. Like, there would be a lot of criticism, like people would be criticizing this female figure who's trying to defend him, or to, I don't know, like try to put him in a comfort zone or something like that. So that female figure or female figures would be highly criticized, right? Or else maybe it's a female figure that would be attached to him at this time, or to his profession at this time, even if they're not directly like defending him in they like for everyone, right? But this person would feel the criticism as well. What I do see is that there will be a whole lot of communication happening at this time, also with government figures at this time, because the sun is going to be included with this conjunction next year. So there would be some talks about the government or government figures or something related to the government, because sun is government, and he does not have his father living anymore, so we can't say his father. So government, or fatherly figures, okay, if we can use that word. Lots of communication, lots of type of negotiations that are happening. I'm seeing next year there are negotiations that are happening, and of course, as I said, this female figure or female figures will be in the the faces of this defense for him, or defense for his profession, or within his profession, something like that, right? It's going to be happening next year. So I also see that his progressing Mars is currently opposite his ascendant, right? And so basically Mars is now facing his ascendant, obviously other people fighting against him, other people fighting with him, right? Because Mars is, soldiers, defense, attacks, and all of that. So I see that, and as of 2025, next year, I see that, the progressing Mars will then, be getting attached to the Rahu and the progressing Saturn. And here, next year, things could be very critical, like in terms of his health. Things could be scary in terms of his health, because Mars and Saturn, they create a physical reaction. They create a physical hostile situation, and it's going to be done in a way that nobody will know, because this is Rahu and illusion, right? So it's going to be, kind of like covered up by something or by someone. So I see that, possible physical attack or physical, sickness or a physical blow, but something physically. And then when in 2026, when Mars progresses to, conjunct with Chiron, here things become also a bit wounding, a bit. Chiron is a wound. Mars is what? Mars is blood. Mars is attack. But Mars is also defense. But because Chiron is a wounded healer, so there could be some sort of grace, some sort of grace that would come up later on, right? Or maybe a wounding that is being healed at this time, because Chiron is also the wounded healer and Mars is cut. So maybe there's a wound that is being healed. Okay, so maybe in a literal form or in a spiritual form, or in a isolation form. But of course, this is all happening in isolation. This is what I see. It's going to be taking place in isolation, or maybe at this point he's like isolated from the rest of the the world or the people or whatever. There's some isolation in 2026 whereby he's literally isolated from everybody else at this time, right? But again, remember, 2025 is very critical when it comes to the physical health, the physical body, the physical appearance at this time. And so that's it for now. I think I should just leave it here, and then we will revisit everything in the couple of years to come, right? So guys, that's it for the predictions. And as always, I'll chat to you soon. Subscribe on my channel for the premium subscription as well. Very important, on my website. And other than that, I'll chat to you guys very soon, and be in touch. Ciao.